Alright, it looks like we're live. So, welcome back to another episode of The Joy of Planting. Give me just a sec to get my app all set up and running. Orion, will you stop? Thank you. Yes, this episode will probably feature a lot of very talkative Orion, because he's feeling very wound up this evening. We got out, all of his toys and stuff, and had him running all over the apartment, and getting playtime in, but he wasn't really that interested in playing with stuff, and just seems generally wound up and bouncing all over the place still. So I'm sure he'll be causing all sorts of mischief while I try to sit down and design. Huh? It's not coming up as streaming for some reason. Oh, that's not helpful. Alright, so Streamlabs says I'm active, or I'm on, but Twitch doesn't seem to recognize that I'm streaming, which is interesting. Nope, there we go. We're good. Never mind. Sorry about that. Alright, so I think we are going to continue on with our Erroronimink, the kind of, I don't want to say it's like a it's not like a copy, but it's more like a loosely inspired by. So, working title of Erroronimink. Um, so I believe I did a little bit of work with 2 off stream. So we can do a quick playthrough and show you what we've got so far. There shouldn't be any changes from hole 1 since the last time I streamed. So this is just kind of a refresher. We have this short-ish par 5 with a kind of side hill landing area that I'm just going to continue to screw up every time I play. And kind of a gnarly little green. Little work still needed on this one, but I think the general contours are all there. Terrible putt. And then on to number 2, which is like a hard left dog leg with then like a right tilting green. Oh, that was terrible. But basically, the angle opens up as far left as you can go. Oh, the hole gets shorter and the angle opens up. So it asks you to take on as much of the corner as you can. And then for number 3, we haven't started that one yet. But I think I kind of want to make that a volcano hole of sorts, where it just slopes off in all directions. It's not a long hole. I can even probably shorten this a little bit if I wanted. Make it like 165 instead of 175. Hey Maddie, what's up? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry I'm letting you down. We're only going to be done with this like, 15th of January or something for our March 30 deadline. Of course, if I am going to end up making this my official World Cup contest entry, then I'm going to have to sit on this one a good long while. Have a crack, how's it going? Alright, so how do I want to do this one? Let me take a look. Alright. I'm debating if I want an apron here or not. I know I want a little bit of like a kind of horseshoeish green over a pair of bunkers. I can't remember the hole, but I was looking up, I knew I wanted this to be a volcano hole, and I was just kind of looking up like I know Ross has made a couple volcano holes, and Sorry, Orion decided he just wants to crawl up the back of my chair. Alright, so I don't know if I want any, I don't know if I want an apron on this or not. But we'll see. Because that does kind of defeat the point of the volcano hole. It's just kind of a hit it or don't proposition. But at the very least, we can break out the sculpting tool. Orion, will you stop, for the love of God? I know you're all wound up. Alright, sorry. So we want to accentuate these little slopes that are already kind of there. So we'll break out the raise tool and start dropping the land around it a little bit. I can probably pop that green a little bit and drop where I'm going to put my bunkers. See how this goes. This could be a quick one to do because it's not too challenging in terms of surfacing. All right, actually, hold on. Let me take a quick second to measure these. Okay, so it's 38 yards long and about 20 to 15 yards, or 15 to 20 yards wide. All right. So it's a little on the larger side, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be a tiny green either. All right. I'm sure the front pin on this would be absolutely terrifying. All right, there we go. Fill, smooth, and then we'll throw our rough second surface on it. As we have all the greens, bump the width up just a little bit. And then flatten this out so we have some actual putting surface down there. Yes, Orion, I hear you. Hello. No, I'm not gonna make this a bow tie hole. Sorry. I love the bow tie. I love the bow tie par 3. Dang it. That's completely the wrong thing I wanted to do. But I do not think I'll be making a bow tie hole in this one. I've kind of overdone that template a little bit. It's too much of a crutch. We want to undo that slightly. 2 courses in a row is more than enough bow tie. I could probably get even more aggressive, taking a little more off the edges of this green. We want it to slope a little bit more severely closer to the hole, so that it really makes shots bounce away if you miss. Well, it's not that kind of template. I don't know if that works for drinking game. All right. So I think we want 2 little bunkers. Orion, get out. Come on. Keeps trying to crawl under the computer, or essentially anywhere and everywhere that he knows he's not supposed to be. Oh, yeah, crutch, buzz, yeah, there's all sorts of, all I gotta do is mention, Biarritz, what other buzzwords can I throw in here? Width and angles, all that sort of stuff. There we go, we'll throw those 2 bunkers in there. And just in terms of visuals, I might throw a little apron in here. Not sure. I'll try it and see how it looks. I think having an apron defeats the point of the volcano hole a little bit because it gives you like a space to miss essentially. But it also gives you some roll off on short shots, so we'll give it a shot. If for no other reason than just a little bit of so you can see something off the tee. That might be a good thing to have. There we go. That's starting to get a little, a little scary around that green, which is exactly what you want. Alright, so let's go. I suppose it'll be very easy to take that fairway out, or the apron out if I don't like it. So we'll sketch one in really quick and see if I like the way it looks and plays. And then if I don't like it, I'll just remove it or edit it if I decide that it makes sense, but I just don't like this iteration of it. Oops, wrong one. Edit. This is fairway, right? Yeah. Then fill, smooth, and add rough band. There we go. Although this one's a little, whatever. I can adjust it as need be. It's fine. Oops. I can go and flatten this a little bit. We get just a little bit more drop off there. Suppose this is okay. It makes there's still a drop off there. It just makes the short misses a little bit less Oh, have a good one, Maddie. Thank you for stopping by. Hi, Scottish. How you doing? But anyway, so the apron there just makes it just a little bit less. It's still a tricky shot. Like if you miss short on a front pin, so it's not the. I don't think it's the end of the world to add an apron to this hole. It might not be the most traditional volcano hole in that way, but I think it still functions. If anything, it'll make it so that short shots will roll away from the pin a little bit, but you get a better lie to work with. So it's just mitigating the punishment enough that we can probably get away with some front pins on this hole. Enjoy putting the finishing touches on this course. It's not there yet. I know it feels that way, but it'll take some time. There we go. I'll do a quick play test, see what it looks like. Actually, that looks solid off the tee for like what is a very uphill par 3. It still presents nicely, even though I can't see any of the bunkers because I'm lefty and my golfer's head blocks the bunkers. Like I'm sure we can make the drop off even more severe if I wanted, or even more immediate the instant you're not on any of the playing surfaces. Seeing as it's overall a relatively simple hole, I can take the time to do that. First things first, I probably want to. We don't want all the browned out rough spots around this green just yet. You know, we want those in the off-course areas, but we don't want those in the on-course areas. So, can fill in the spots around the green just to give kind of a even, heavy, rough uh, uh, texture for these ones. We can almost go with like a little bit of like two kind of very mild punch bowls that kind of slope off this direction. Who knows? Oops. I'm going to do a quick save. I might play around with some lighting options. Par 3s can be so hard to make visually interesting. I kind of find the opposite if I'm being totally honest. I think par 3s are the easiest to make them visually interesting. They're because they're the one shot or the one type of hole where you pretty much have complete control over how the player is approaching the green. So it's a lot easier to just like you can just make a really well framed green instead of having it's the here's where you're hitting from and you have a like a set spot to work with that you can dial in as you see fit versus like with a par 5 par 4 um, your players are going to be coming in from all sorts of crazy different spots, so it's a lot harder. You have a lot wider range of areas that you have to kind of frame your shot from. So I think par 3s are a great opportunity to really like go nuts with um, visual interest. And since there's no course out this way, I can we can make a bigger, kind of thicker forest back here. Although we don't need to do that just yet, because that's 6. So we're not going that way. So I can put more stuff over here as well. There we go. That's not a bad start. I mean, we can obviously can go a little crazier on this hole as we get closer to finishing it. Although I can go kind of flatten out the tee box here, see how that looks. Also, I can probably do a little bit of kind of massaging these bunkers so that they're a little bit more visible off the tee. Just kind of drop the front down just a touch. And actually, I could sink this pan just a little as well. That might be a bit much. Yeah. There we go. We'll do the same for that one. Howdy, other Matt. How's it going? Got a whole hangout of Matts going. Well, actually, Maddie from Canada left, so we might be down to only 2 Matts right now. It's disappointing. There we go. Now, I like the land that this hole sits on. I don't have any like crazy ideas in terms of how I want this to play, but I think I can have like yeah, it's not a real TGC stream unless there's an army of mats. Only having a gaggle of mats is not enough. I need to go fill in the heavy rough for these areas as well. Not that I have to. I don't know. I can do all that later when I start planting and finishing stuff, but you know, it doesn't hurt to fill in a couple spots just to get a sense of how the playing surfaces are gonna look. There we go. So there's our, yeah, again, I can probably maybe lower it like a foot and just go right up to the edges just to get that, uh, that drop off starting like immediately once you're off the playing surfaces. Kind of like that. Smooth that out. And then if anything, we can just flatten out the top. And that'll get it kind of that little bit of a sharper edge that we want. Yeah, it's not a very dramatic volcano, but again, it's a start. I can always dial it up a little bit more once we get into more finishing details of this one. So let's take a look at 4. Alright, so here's our tee box. We have kind of a mid-length par 4. So I can realistically make the tee shot a little more challenging. Alright. So I see this nice ridge here. I feel like we can go nuts with the bunkers right around here. Like, I can have that as kind of a fun little zigzag, and we can run this down this way. Do something like that. We can make that. I think we can make that um, top tier a little more challenging to hit, and then kind of concede the layup option. Although, yeah. So if we want to do that, we want to make it stretch out this way a little more. Something like this. So that's kind of a fair-ish. Let's see. Yeah, so you have your forced carry. Yeah, like 3 wood layups in here somewhere. or you could go like 5 wood lay up to here. And that would give you like a blind, okay, it gives you like a blind 200-yard shot in. So maybe this one's too long to really be like a driver optional hole. It's still a really big ask, especially depending on what you're looking at for an approach shot here. Don't know if we want a separate, like kind of an island green here, separate from the fairway, or if we want and it would work for this hole, I think. Like there's this big slope here that it. I guess you could run fairway in from the left side, and that would work. Okay, we'll give it a shot. Also, I have all this room. I probably want to pull number 5 off this hole just a little bit. Let's check. Okay, so even up here, the fairway is still 30 yards wide, and when you hit here, it's 55 yards wide. So it looks nice off the tee, but I think our scaling might be just a little bit off on this hole. Maybe we can dial it in just a little. I probably open up this landing area. Although this is probably going to be like 80 yards wide down here. 75. Yeah, that's a bit much. So yeah, we could do something like that for our lower one. I could really honestly almost cut up into this just a little bit more. It both makes that that carry to that upper level a little scarier, or like it's a little more demanding of a carry, and it makes that landing area just a little smaller. All right, so that can work. Now when we get up here, I probably want to raise that green a little. But I think I will do a quick save just because it doesn't hurt to save regularly. We're gonna do a quick doodle of this. I think I like this idea enough to pencil in the fairway, and then we'll see what we want to do with our green. I think we can pull this one off. Like we don't need an apron that connects to the fairway, or our landing area. We'll do like 2 separate, kind of a separated green. Alright. I'll fill that, smooth, and add rough. That's right, I was going to 4.3 for these. Alright, well it's definitely visually appealing off the tee. It's got that going for it. And yeah, this is okay, so this is a tough carry, and as the more you go right, the more you can easily bite off more than you can chew on this tee shot. Ooh, or in this case, yeah, it's uphill. It's deceptively difficult to do. So I actually got to start out to the right here. Which then leaves me this 140 yarder. I think I can raise that green a little. And that would work nicely. Plus that would make the drop off around that green a little bit more severe. So you can go clear all that. Yeah, this like that could be reworked a little. Probably just bring it in like that. Alright, and then let's do just a flatten. There we go. So that will leave us with, see how long is this spot? That's about 40 yards. Let's, we can make this green a little smaller. Oh, that might be too small even. Oh, okay, 40, that's widest, and about 20 yards. We can probably stretch this bit out just a bit though. Yeah, and then I'm thinking, yeah, bunker to the right there, and we can throw in an apron that runs up kind of this way. Probably doesn't even need to be that big. Funny enough, the scale of this green and apron looks just a little bit off compared to the size of that fairway. Hey Dan, how's it going? Ooh, actually, I can get away with. We can make this into kind of a runoff collection area as well. Seems sufficiently evil. Alright, here. We're close. I want to go back to the drawing board just a little on this one. Let's see. See, there definitely being a bunker here that we can stretch the green around. But now the question is, how much, where's all the extra fairway go? Definitely down this way. And definitely long, where we stretch it out kind of down this way. Could almost run it into the green here, or just off the green and run it completely around this way. And just sink that down just a little. Hey Leossi, how's it going? Yeah, it's a good evening to start World Cup stuff, Dan. I agree. We'll drop that down. There we go. That's not a bad start. I'm not totally sold on this green yet, but again, I like the spot this hole sits on. I'm not convinced this whole idea is a winner just yet, but I'm kind of in that mode where I just want to brainstorm ideas. They don't have to be they don't have to be finalized, or they don't have to be winners just yet. Getting anything down and getting started is better than having nothing there, and just being stuck and just not one or and wondering how the hell I'm gonna fit something in that spot. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a great way to get started if you don't have like a really like like a really polished, finalized idea in mind. Like if you're copying like a real life hole or something like that, it's a lot easier to go in and do all of that final polishing early. But right now, I'm just trying to pencil in ideas and just have them be like like the kind of that minimum viable product type thing, where it's the okay, I want this to be a functional golf hole, but it doesn't have to be a polished golf hole. Like the pins don't necessarily need to make sense. The contours aren't going to be finalized. You're just testing the general idea of it. Baby Bull, what's up? 3 days. Somebody hacked your Steam account. That sucks. I'm sorry, man. Is your account gone, or have you got like? Is there a way to get it back, type thing? Plus, I believe all of your, if you're on Steam, all of your design files should be saved locally. Um, like obviously you might not be able to load them up immediately because getting into Steam and stuff is hard, but you should be able to pull the files off your computer. Like they should still exist there as far as I know. Whoops, that was dumb. Yeah, I think this green site is gonna need a lot of work, but it's okay. It's something for now. Hey, don't know why, but your mic has a lot of static. Yeah, it's not a great mic. I don't know why it would have a ton of. I know it has a little bit of static, but I didn't boost it or anything, so Um, I'm not sure why it would have a ton of static, other than me fussing with it. Not sure. Okay, I probably just need to upgrade to a better one at some point. I'll be the first to admit my equipment is very much on the cheap side. Uh, there we go. I want to pencil that in. There we go. Now, I was gonna say I probably don't want any like really large bunkers, so I can probably. You've never seen anyone edit a course on Twitch like this. I mean, there's a fair amount of guys who do course design on Twitch. So it's not I mean, there's a Um, there's a fair fair sized community of designers, and a good number of them stream. Alright. Oh, your Wi-Fi is awful. You might be cutting in and out, but this is reliable. Ooh. Well, I look forward to seeing. Oh, what am I doing? I was getting rid of the old measuring tools just as I was penciling this new one in. Can't wait to see what you come up with, Petra. That'll be fun. Here, I don't feel like adjusting the fairway spline that I have, so we'll just run another one over this one and fill in the gaps. It should be an easy enough way to do it. Yep. Oh, I haven't monetized my channel, so you can save your bits. I haven't bothered to set up any of the what do you want to call it? What's the affiliate? That's what it is. Let's see. Yep, no worries. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely 100% appreciate the sentiment, but I always feel just a little weird monetizing a channel where it's admittedly kind of low effort in terms of like obviously I think hopefully the content is good, but like I don't put a lot of effort into like all of the peripheral stuff, like you know like I don't really feel like setting up emotes or I think the scale of these bunkers is a little big compared to the rest of them. Let me check. Yeah, it's just a little large because that's going to be actually that one's about the right size. We'll figure it out. But I just stream this because it's hanging out with folks while I design is fun. It makes all the a little bit of the tedious stuff go by faster. Um, I hopefully it's a relatively useful like learning tool for folks who are kind of hopping in to try this and just learning. So, but I feel weird like accepting payment for something that I'm just kind of doing for fun, and it's essentially I'm putting no extra effort into streaming it compared to just sitting down and doing it on my own. So, hence I haven't bothered to monetize this channel yet. Maybe one day we'll do it, but it just I just don't quite feel comfortable with like being the low effort streamer that's like, yeah, just throw me a couple bucks. Oh, I'm sure there will be plenty of low key phallic bunkers on this course. It very much happens all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I've resplined tons and tons of fairways as well. I mean, realistically, because I just do them all with I don't even know if I like that bunker. All of everything about this hole just feels slightly off. It's not far off. Yeah, and it's like this doesn't work as a collection area because that slope is too steep. I'm kind of thinking I just tear this up and start over. The concept is interesting, um, but the actual execution of it just like it doesn't work in any way. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Plus, I already like it's one of those things where I already monetized one of my hobbies, so I don't need to monetize two of them. I do a fair amount of painting, and I've gotten to the point where I sell those. So I don't want to get sucked into having like two things where I'm trying to, um, you know, up the amount of money I can make out of them. This is just like it's a fun little break, and I think if I monetize it, it takes a little bit of that. Like it's when you're making money streaming and you're trying to support a channel, then it's all of a sudden you need like a schedule and things like that. You have to kind of justify like, oh well, now I should stream regularly because like people are paying for your content, that sort of stuff. When it's not monetized, then I can just do whatever I want when I want. Like I could do 3 episodes in a week and then not make any for a month or things like that. Here, I wanna can still can still have that ridgeline be where we put our. I'm wondering if I should try TGC Tours Beer League at some point. Cause I'm getting my ass kicked in Kinetic. I figure I gotta eventually hop down to CC. Like it's frustrating never ever making a cut. All right, I mean I could do like a standard, like I can see like a standard perched green kind of up around here. It's not the most interesting green site. It's not bad. It's just that's going to be a little on the large side. 45 by 30. Oh, don't worry, I'm well on my way to CCA. It's only a matter of time. Because I haven't. I think I'm up to 2 or 3 demotion marks, and I never ever clear any of them because I don't make cuts. So it's just a matter if I let it happen naturally, or I just go throw 1 week to get it over with, and make that dive down to CC quicker. Oh, but that's the thing. I mean, I'd be happy to give it a go to move up if that was a realistic option, but I'm nowhere near good enough to even stay where I'm at now. So the the possibility of moving upwards is just basically zero. I'm gonna have to come up with a better green site for that, but I don't mind this tee shot. Like this is kind of a fun tee shot. Like it looks decent off the tee, just in terms of framing, and I can throw my two, you know, at least more bunkers that make sense in here. Like those seem like they're scaled better. Something like that. That might be a little large for that second one, but there we go. That would require him to take more than 10 minutes around. Again, you say that, but it's one of those where I play very quickly because I found I play better when I do that. Like it's not that I play quickly because I refuse to take time on rounds. It's just the more time I take on shots, the more I tense up and choke. So I play looser and better when I just like when I play too quickly to to start questioning myself and tensing up over shots, and just play as fast and loose as possible. Because I am the yippiest putter on earth on TGC. It it's so weird. I didn't think you could get putting yips in a video game, but I can assure you it's 100% possible. And I've never even had like putting yips in real life. I'm a pretty solid putter in real life. But I cannot do it in this game. It's like I'll hit pulls all the time, and then anytime I try to play for that pull, then I'll hit it straight, or I'll pull it, even worse. It's a nightmare. Every short putt is terrifying. Joined a PGA speedrunning league. So what kind of records do they have? Is it set up like real life speed golf where you get like basically you just get a shot added for every minute that it takes you or something like that, and it's just a combined um score time thing in terms of points? Cuz I could probably be half decent at that. I play really fast. And I'm like a very borderline kinetic player playing at absolute lightning speed. Fastest time to play official courses under par. Okay. So it's not a combination of like, yeah, okay. It's or it's less, it's more speed running and less speed golf. Got it. Yeah, these bunkers are going to need a lot of work, but for placeholders, it's fine. I think this is a hole that's going to take a lot of fiddling with. I don't really like anything that's here at the moment. It's a fun piece of land, and I think I could like put something really cool here. But so what's the record for those? How fast are people playing through that? I'm assuming like 8-9 minutes is the record. Yep, no worries. Take your time. I'm wondering if I just like, yeah. I think we'll just pencil in placeholder stuff and call it a day on this one. I don't feel like fighting to come up with an idea for this spot when I can just like set this aside for later, see if anything comes to me in terms of ideas, and then just if it doesn't, then I can start fiddling with it. But there's no reason to get hung up on this hole yet. When I can still make a first pass and see what jumps out at me for the rest of the holes on this course. So we'll just throw in. It doesn't need to be remotely neat. We just want to throw. We want this to be just a barely playable golf hole for if we're play testing and running through and just getting an idea of flow, and then yeah, and just a marker of here's the general idea we had with all of our uh why am I bothering with that? I shouldn't. Man, it's just a yeah. It's hey, here's where all of our distance markers were. This is the idea we had, and we'll go back and finish it later. How many rounds is beer league? I was gonna say if you're doing 4 rounds in 40 minutes, that's pretty darn fast. All right, I'll take a look at that link here in a sec. Again, I'm sure I could do something very both strategically interesting and visually interesting on the spot, but yeah, the hole I have here is way too standard for what I think is a really cool little piece of land. And then I'm gonna have to move this fairway out more. But this one also promises. Well, I have to fix. It's just kind of a weird, ugly blind shot right now. Not that it can't be blind. It just has to make more sense as a blind shot. And meanwhile, this approach shot looks awesome. Like that'll be framed really nicely. Outside of it'll all be in shadow, and I need to adjust that. Or just leave the whole thing in shadow. That also works. Alright, let's check out Petro's link. "5 minutes, my goodness, that's fast. Holy crap." Oh, it's on beginner though. Okay. And now it's just rolling into pro. Okay, okay. How do you go prove your times on all of these? Do you have to take like a video of it as you play? But yeah, those times are nuts. I figured they'd be good. I had no idea they were going to be that good. Alright, let's see. I'm actually, I feel like I'm running out of steam on this just a little bit for the time being. I knew exactly what I wanted to make with this hole, and that was fun. But, yeah, I'm moving on to 4, and I'm kind of stuck. And I move on to 5, and I like the piece of land it's on, even if, um, I think I could probably bump the tees up just a little bit. And bump that hill down like a little bit to the right. I don't mind it being. That's a bit much. It just feels weird with that hill being there. I want to make you want to make the landing area at least a little visible. I can bump it up. Actually, that's perfect. Something like that would work. I can probably also move that out to the right just a little bit. Now, how long is that one? 560. So it should be borderline reachable in 2. Are there any spots that really just jump out at me? 6 is another spot that could be fun because it's not the shortest hole, but I think I can, that'll play significantly shorter. So it'll probably be driver wedge for that kind of hard dog leg. Then 7 is going to be a longer one uphill and to the left with kind of almost like a reverse camber thing going there. Then the short par 3, which should be fun. Like, that's a nice backdrop view for short. And then the brutish par 4. So if anything, I could almost reel the tees in on this one just a little bit, or move the green up. Because we don't have any we have 4 and 6 as the shortest par 4s on the course, or on the front 9. I mean, not on the course. Like we don't have any remotely short holes on this course, so. Maybe that's how we make 4 interesting. Is we just I could dial the green back a little bit and make this, like 415, 420 is kind of a decent number. And it's an opportunity to make kind of a devious little green on a short hole. differentiate it from the couple that we've played already. But we'll have to shrink this green down. We want to make it a little smaller for that length of shot, or at least just really, really tricky. Yeah, I mean, looking around, I think the plot's going to look really cool when this is done. If I leave it kind of open so you can see most of the interior as you play, like this could be really fun. Alright, so I think I want to add, like, we'd put the other tees out, like, over here. Around this corner, so that'll open up the view a little bit. Alright, so let's say we start up this way. So that's about where our drives are landing. Where's our minimum point that we want to start from? Probably about here. Means you can run up this way. Oh, plus we can see that, so that's good. How wide do we want it up here? Probably not terribly wide. Like 28 yards is fine, I think. We'll sprinkle a couple bunkers in there. We'll close up that fairway there. Alright, so that's a start. And then we can throw a bunker, like, can throw one there and another one here, which should be in a good spot to catch some tee shots. Oh yeah, if you just bail out too far right, it'll catch that, and these will catch overly aggressive shots to the inside. I think we can run the fairway down this way. And do I want to connect it? Yeah, I think we want to connect it. Or do I? This could be an interesting, like, if it's barely reachable, like we could do a really interesting, like, shallow green. Something like this. Bunkers short and like a couple long, and just make it like this really, like, gnarly-ish second shot if you want to go for it. Of course, I can still do that with an apron. I just don't have to. Yeah, it's fine. We'll do it that way. We'll roll that in, out this way. Something like that. That'll work just fine. So there's that. Then we'll roll up this way. Connect it up here. Alright. That's a good start. Even though I kind of want to make this fairway just a little wider. Especially short. I suppose, for a par 5 it's barely reachable in 2, and, where it's a big ask to pull it off, I think, we can go ahead and make the layup kind of an attractive option. Just easy enough. Sprinkle a couple trees on the inside. And a ton to the outside, since this will be the edge of the plot. we can sprinkle a couple trees out this way as well. For, potential protection of like that tee box type thing. Well, I think we want to keep it mostly open. We just want enough so it doesn't feel empty. Alright, let's just start. Again, I think this will be one where we can tweak it a little bit to make more sense as we go. Like that layup area up there is probably a little generous, but we can tweak it as we go. Alright, so let's go lay in that green for now. There we go. Obviously we go flatten it out a little bit so it's relatively flat and puttable as we fill that in. Okay, so we have like between 2, 3 does it a little, 4 does it, and 5 does it. We have all of these cape greens that lean off to the right. So I probably want to undo 4 and not make it like this kind of cape green. Actually, and 1 does it too. So we wanna break that trend and not have all of our holes be like little capey things where the right miss is punished more than the left miss. Of course, this is also on a left to right slope, so naturally the left miss is going to be punished less than the right one. What do you think? How long would you take for a solid course when you really hurry up? It looks pretty fast and you do it right now. I'm not really sure because it's one of those things where I don't tend to measure my courses in hours so much as I measure them in like weeks it takes me to do it. So it could be one of those things where I could do a really fast course and it could take me a month just because I didn't put a lot of hours into the designer. Or I think the quickest I've pumped out a course was like 14 days. I think I did a contest course in. Uh, but that was over winter break type thing where I took a week off work and around Christmas time because I had holiday to burn. So I mean, I still went out and did. I had a lot of time to like spend with family and catch up with friends and that sort of stuff. But even then, you know, I still had all this time in like the morning and evening that I could just go burn in the designer. So I think I was averaging like 40 hours a week on um, in the designer just because I had that much time for that little stretch. So I think I put 80 hours into the course, but I did it in just over 2 or just under 2 weeks. Oh, it's okay. I mean, I don't mind them being similar, but I just don't want all of the first 6 to be the same. We want to mix we want to throw something a little more original in there. Keep things fresh. Well, that's, I mean, it's, all things considered, I have a lot more time that I can choose to spend in the designer if I see fit. I just don't always, obviously I spend a lot of time in here. I've done a ton of courses and, you know, but I usually just tend to do it in little chunks like this, where I'll sit down several times a week and I'll just spend, like an hour, hour and a half in the designer just playing around with stuff. So it tends to come less from just like, spending full days in the designer and just spending a little bit of time every evening in it. All right, that's promising looking. Still probably need to bump that hill down, but that's okay. That's a terrible shot. I'm not sure this is even remotely doable where the tees are at now. Okay. So you basically need the Bridgestone driver to make it there. I think I could like bump the Petro, what's up? Could probably bump the tees up 5 or 10 yards if I need. Oh yeah, never mind. This hole doesn't need to be longer. That one's fine. Now let's see what our yardage is. 7,500. That's a hefty course. But it doesn't, at least so far, the holes I've designed don't play ridiculously. Alright, so first things first. I think I drop this down just a little. I do want to dial, I want to throw, oops. You don't want that much of a depression there. I want a little bit of one. Like that, but maybe drop this just a touch so you can see more of the fairway. There we go. That's more interesting. Whoops, I want to go double tab. I can start filling in trees out to the side. Or I could hold off on it, because I don't know if I want to put houses or things there instead of, like, dense forests. We'll figure it out. Yeah, for me it's less uh, like a lot of people will give you somewhat honest feedback, but the whole thing is, to me, like there's limited value to just kind of your average TGC player's feedback. Even if it may sound a little harsh, but it's just kind of that, like, most people aren't really looking at courses with a critical eye. So it's just they're going to be like, "Oh, they'll tell you everything was great because so it's hard when when you're trying to improve and you want to make something, substantial. You need somebody that has, you know, that's going to examine a course from like a strategic standpoint, kind of touch on some of the visuals, that sort of stuff. That isn't just going to mindlessly play through it and go, "Oh, that was fun. I liked it. Good course." Not to say that, not to say that there isn't any value to just, the average person's opinion, but it's not necessarily productive as a designer just to get that whole, you know, just, uh, a bunch of people who don't design tell you that your course is good. Yeah, that's true as well. I'm not sure how I want to deal with the plot boundary yet. So we have plenty of time. And I figured this course is going to go relatively quickly anyway. So I have plenty of time to like come up with like a little bit more elaborate course surrounds and you know make it a little bit more of a lived-in feel than a lot of courses I make. At least in terms of like I can spend more time on out off course details instead of just suggesting things and then like covering it with trees so that you don't really get a close look at it. I think I'll take a quick stroll through what we've done so far. Oh yeah, that's a gnarly pin location. But it's a par 5, so a short par 5. That was a terrible shot. There we go. Much better. Yeah, this one might need a little bit of tweaking, but I think this is a really cool. I love the views off this one, and I think it could potentially play really nice once we massage the green a little bit. Yeah, I think I might this green's gonna have to get a little crazier in order to really make this hole pop, but it's a good start. I like the idea. It's probably not like I came in with the idea of ooh, this would be a great spot for a volcano hole, and I don't know if this really qualifies as a volcano hole just yet. It's not a very dramatic one, but again, I think the general idea isn't that far off. This one just needs tons of work. It's a complete placeholder right now. Nothing jumps out at me about this one yet. So this one we're gonna have to revisit at some point when I'm with a fresh mind. Oh, almost made another chip in. Yeah, I think we're kind of at a place where I can go ahead and call this design stream for the day. I mean, I'm gonna keep streaming. I'll just do other stuff. I'll cut the Joy of Planting episode here. I probably won't play around with. I want to try and do the majority of like the ideas and stuff on in this series. So I probably will try not to play with this file too much outside of Joy of Planting episodes. Um, but we'll see. Like I'll just to make the episodes a little more streamlined, I'll probably dabble with like a little bit of ideas and a little bit of finishing details off stream. Uh, I'll try to leave some of that part in just for just to kind of demonstrate you know how that's done, that sort of thing. But I don't need to make people watch me do every finishing detail on every hole. Yeah, I think this one could be a lot of fun once we get the it's gonna be all about making the cuz it's not gonna be a very long hole. I think with even 3 wood to the corner, yeah, you're hitting a scoring club in. which means that we can make cutting on the corner very dangerous, and we can make this green really nasty, which should be fun. Yeah, exactly, Petra. That's kind of because I don't think in season one I really did. Um, I don't think I really did. Like, I didn't finish a course in any of the episodes. Like, I do an episode or two on a bunch of different projects, just enough to kind of get the idea. But I didn't do like a start to finish one. I think that would be a good change of pace to do for season two. At the very least, what do you want to call it? Like get a bulk of the kind of ideas in. But it's like stuff like I think I might go back and it's like I can like play with planting or I can throw tee boxes and things in, give the holes that I like a little bit more of a polished feel or like get them closer to being done. I don't have to do all of the details on stream, but we'll do as much as we can in whatever chunks make sense. So, anyway, I think we'll cut it there for now. Until next time. And for those of you hanging out in stream, I'll cut this and start up another stream here in just a sec. But yeah, for those of you who are watching this as an upload, Joy of Planting, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Until then, have a good one.